Racing Podcast, episode number 10. Recorded in front of a live audience in Dundee, New York at the Poorhouse. Hello, race fans. Welcome to episode number 10, the Christmas special here on Turn 5. I am your host, Stu Ovens, sitting alongside Big Poppy, Clint Miller.
Ho, 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 Steven.
Ho, 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 here at the Poorhouse. Alongside, to my left, we got B-Rad running the soundboard. What's up? Yeah, there we go.
He's going to have his hands full tonight, I'm afraid.
Everybody's feeling frisky tonight, man. We're getting ready for the holidays. Clint, you told me you still got some Christmas shopping to do later tonight.
Yeah, heading out after we're done, yep.
There you go. I'm pretty much wrapped up with my shop, and I had to do it before I left for Montana.
Don't rub it in.
And I got to tell you, it's good to be back in New York. I appreciate both of you guys for doing the work you guys did there in the studio while I was off traveling for work. And we got another trip coming up here soon, and it's good to know you guys have got the fort held down for us while I'm out doing that thing. But let's get rolling right into it tonight, Clint. We are here recording in front of a live audience here at the Poorhouse. Want to send a huge shout out to Jeff, Deb, and everybody here at the Poorhouse for hosting us tonight. This is going to be probably our first of what could be numerous remote shows. We're working on a deal for another show in the future. I can't exactly divulge the details until we get those ironed out, but I want to send a call out to anybody who's got a racetrack nearby. If you've got a racetrack and drivers nearby, and you've got a bar, a restaurant, fire department, whatever, it doesn't matter. We want to bring this local show to you guys. So if you guys have got any ideas about different places or tracks nearby to help us support local short track racing, we're all for it.
Absolutely. This is a great idea, and honestly, you don't know what's around the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, you could sit here and as you sit at home going, man, I don't know what the future brings. You literally don't know what's going to happen 2 minutes from now around the corner. Here at the bar.
We really don't. It's really going to be interesting to see how everything shakes out tonight. We've got a couple people that we've talked to about coming in to be guests on the show, but until we get some folks in here to talk to us, let's just talk local short track racing. One topic that we can talk about and ditch rather quickly is the Black Rock Speedway schedule, because it hasn't come out yet.
No, we're still waiting for everything to be ironed out with that.
And it's got to be tough for a lot of our local guys. I mean, I know Phil Yaw is well into putting his Sportsman Modified together. I saw Brady Foltz talking the other night about the fact that he's just starting to work on his car. And for those guys that pretty much dedicate their racing efforts to Black Rock Speedway, that's got to be a little bit challenging, because there's a little bit of uncertainty. Without the schedule in concrete written down, that's a little tough to get prepared.
It is, and the other tough part of it is, the rumors have run rampant and nothing's been official, and it's been talked about. It was talked about a little bit at the banquet, but nobody knows what's going on with the BRP cars at Black Rock Speedway. We'll get into something a little bit later that I got an email from Gary Montgomery.
Hey, let's talk about it right now. Let's dive right into it.
Okay. Well, I got an email. I got two emails, actually. Only one can be confirmed, because in my slumber this morning, I must have deleted the other one. But it turns out that the championship race for the BRP Can-Am Series this year is going to be at the Short Track Super Nationals at I-88 Speedway, the Brett Deo production.
Adding yet another event to that Short Track Super Nationals being moved. So
yeah, and it's going to be big, because that's when they had the race up here that they kind of tested the 360s out with the crate late models. Black Rock's kind of in the middle of nowhere, when those guys are traveling an hour and a half to 2 hours, to get here. I-88 Speedway is 3.5 hours away. You could be going into a whole different part of the state where maybe there's more of those crate late models around, that can come run in it.
Yeah. And with the with the series that the Go Nuclear late model series runs, I mean, there's a concentration of those cars in central New York, like near Syracuse, Fulton, Brewerton, in that area. There's also a concentration of those guys that are just across the Canadian border. Mm-hmm. So that series, for guys down here, you're going to have to make wholesale changes to try and run that tour. And to run that tour is going to be pretty taxing on any of the local guys, because there's, I don't think there's a handful, but there's a few races that are in Canada, and these guys aren't used to making that kind of trip.
Right, and you're just talking about the Go Nuclear guys. I mean, Gary Montgomery's putting together another, it's still going to be a BRP Can-Am series, but he's kind of, they're working on details of modifying the rules.
Yeah.
So that the stock clip BRP 360 late models can compete with the crate late model, which Gary has kind of said that he wants to go to, the full frame late models.
Yeah.
And apparently he's got backing from, again, and unconfirmed, from Black Rock Speedway, Freedom Raceway, Raceway 5, Woodhall, Little Valley. The Brock Young Memorial's been moved up to July 3rd show.
Yeah.
So, there's still going to be plenty of races to run with these stock clip cars, but how does that affect the local guys? I know Jim Schuyler has one. Jared ran Jim's car at the Go Nuclear race in October at Black Rock. Did very well with a modified package of sorts for the late models.
Sure.
So it'll be interesting to see if any 360 guys are going to do that. Of course, we already know that Jeremy Wonderling, John Waters, and all those guys already plan on moving up.
Yeah.
So you just don't know.
What are those guys going to be? I guess I don't know. What are those guys going to be moving up to?
They're running the Go, well, I don't know if it's going to be Go Nuclear, but they got crate late models.
They go into the crates. Okay.
Yep. I know John Waters is planning on keeping his 360 to hit some local shows, like if they're not busy on a Friday night or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
To come to Black Rock or go to Woodhall, which I think he's the defending track champion over to Woodhall and Black Rock.
Well, and you look at a guy like John Waters, and anywhere John pulls into the racetrack, he's got a chance to win.
Oh, he unloads fast. There's no doubt.
He's a threat to win everywhere he goes. And you look at the season that he had at Black Rock this year. I mean, that's just,
they had some. He's got some good backing behind him with Payne's Automotive. From what I understand, he went and did some classes to on chassis setup, shock packages. And when you can put that kind of money in just a shock package, you're going to be fast wherever you're at. I mean, a lot of guys around can't compete with that, but rules are rules.
Yeah, and you were talking about the Go Nuclear late model series, checking out some of the news and notes from their camp. They've got a pretty big weekend coming off right off the bat, April 26th and 27th up at the Mohawk International Raceway. April 26th is going to be $1,000 to win, $125 to start. And that race is called the Atomic Spring Clash, running 35 laps up at Mohawk. And this is that weekend is going to be a show that they're kind of running in conjunction with an Empire Super Sprint race. So,
okay, I did hear something about that. You're right.
Going to be a lot of good racing up there that weekend.
Doesn't Lance Young run an ESS?
Well, yes, he does. How much, we don't know.
I was just checking. I was curious.
Does Steve Kinzer run the World of Outlaws?
For one more year.
Well, you know what? I think
that's pretty comparable.
That's a pretty common denominator these days.
Yeah, it is comparable.
Lance Young to ESS to what Steve Kinzer is to World of Outlaws. Yeah.
And you think about it, if you take Mike Woodring out of the Empire Super Sprints, if he never ran ESS, then Lance could be right up there in terms of numbers of championships with the Kings. So
that's very true.
Absolutely. So that's going to be a big weekend up at Mohawk for the Go Nuclear late models. They've also got dates already confirmed. May 18th is going to be the Gnome Cup at Utica, Rome. That's going to be $1,500 to win, $175 to start. 30-lap feature there, and that'll be a pretty good distance race up at Utica, Rome, running 30 laps on that track. June 1st, they'll be at Humberstone Speedway, which is just across the Canadian border. That's $1,000 to win, $125 to start, running 35 laps. The Great Crate Race, 4 up at the Brighton Speedway on September 6th is 65 laps. That's going to be a big show. No purse set for that yet. And then back at the Mohawk International Raceway, September 12th and 13th. That's yet to be confirmed, but it'll be $1,000 to win, $125 to start. The Atomic Triple Crown details still to be determined on the 26th and 27th of September. October 3rd will be at Fulton Speedway for Outlaw 200, night number 1. That'll be a 50-lap crate late model race, $1,000 to win, $125 to start. And, of course, as time goes on, more contingency prizes will be announced and things of that nature. So, going to be a pretty competitive schedule there for the Go Nuclear late models. And during the winter months, you can catch them. They do the Atomic Power Racing Hour on Time Warner Cable. Rich Vleck, who is part of Hot Wings Media and does a lot of good video work and does a lot of good video work that puts out to cable television like Time Warner. So look out for that, the Atomic Power Racing Hour. And then, as more details start trickling out from the Montgomery camp about the BRP Can-Am late models, we'll certainly be able to announce some of that.
And what I did hear was that the prize fund is going to be over $30,000 for the Can-Am series this year. Which is about $2,000 more than what it was this year.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I know it's more, I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, I think it was like $2,800, maybe even $2,900 this year.
That's great. That's good news. So, we also got on the docket. We were talking about IMCA modifieds. We got Phil Yaw, we were talking about last week. Phil,
right, yep.
Going to be moving up out of that class into a Sportsman modified. He seems like he'll be ready to race next week if he needed to. Phil's been working hard on that car.
Well, he bought it from Chris Doherty, and Chris has always got top-notch stuff, and it's always clean and it's ready to go. He's got a great crew, and Chris puts his head down and he's got the best stuff. Chris, I think, is going to do some asphalt racing this year at
Chemung Speedrome. Yep.
I saw a picture of it on blocks on Facebook, so
that's cool.
I think we're going to have to, take you and I have to go to some shows, take our recorder,
yeah,
and not necessarily talk to drivers in between, but talk about the races.
Oh yeah. One idea that would really be kind of cool to go out to a racetrack, do a pre-race report, with maybe a couple drivers, throw in a couple interviews with the drivers, do a heat race report, and then catch your winners or top 3 after future. Yeah, that'd be good stuff. We were also talking about the 2014 Short Track Super Series, and I think what we're actually going to do, we'll come back, we'll toss it off to a break, and when we come back from the break, we'll talk about the Brett Deo Motorsports Media Short Track Super Series
tour.
It's going to tour. Yeah, that's going to be running at tracks in the Southern Tier and off near Binghamton and all that sort. So when we come back, we will talk about the 2014 Short Track Super Series fueled by VP Racing Fuels. Race fans, you're listening to Turn 5.
MotorsportsNutrition.com is Turn 5's official home of race day and recovery supplements. Developed for racers, by racers, with over 30 years behind the wheel. MotorsportsNutrition.com has the right Advocare supplements to keep you going. On race day, turn to healthy Advocare products trusted by NASCAR, the NCAA, Olympic athletes, and 410 Sprint Car and World of Outlaws driver Ryan Smith. Visit them on the web at www.motorsportsnutrition.com or call Christy at 330-431-9714 and tell them Steve and Clint sent you. Hey Brad, where do you go for your NASCAR, IndyCar, F1, short track, dirt, and World of Outlaws coverage?
I go to racechaseronline.com.
Aren't they also at Speed 77 Radio on live stream?
Yeah, they've got the Motorsports Madness Report on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock and the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. Join in on the fun at racechaseronline.com and see them on Facebook. Search Race Chaser Online.
Kick off your holiday shopping now at Radio Shack. You'll find low prices on the latest smartphones, tablets, e-readers, plus a huge selection of must-have accessories. Radio Shack also has big savings on RC toys, batteries, plus stocking stuffers like flash drives and memory cards. And don't miss the great deals on portable Bluetooth speakers, top-name headphones, fitness gear, and more. So get a jump on your holiday shopping and start saving today at Radio Shack at 103 Main Street in beautiful downtown Penn Yan.
Welcome back, race fans of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ovens, alongside Clint Miller and B-Rad on the soundboard. We are the Turn 5 Racing Podcast, fueled by motorsportsnutrition.com and marketed to you weekly by horsepower360.com. We also want to thank our associate sponsors, Creekside Entertainment, the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast, Race Chaser Online and Speed 77 Radio. You can catch their shows weekly after the first of the year. They have done their last shows for 2013, but you can catch them again in 2014. Check out Speed 77 Radio on live stream and racechaseronline.com. And our good buddies down at Penn Yan Electronics, Jim and Clint, obviously from Penn Yan Electronics, your local Radio Shack dealer.
Busy.
I'll bet.
Busy with capital B-U-S-Y.
Well, that's good.
It is.
That's good.
It's a nice problem to have.
Now, Clint, I had you on the show a couple weeks ago talking about your guys' move down to Main Street, the new storefront, the big sign, and all that stuff. Have you guys noticed a big change in your business, or has it stayed consistent since you moved?
No, it's been a good change. It's a lot easier being on Main Street. Our face is right there. You know, you get new people that come in and they talk about the sign. They love the sign.
Yeah.
The traffic is up. You know, traffic is much better. People I can probably count on two hands in 2 years that people have complained about no parking in the front, but we have the parking in the back and we have a rear entrance.
Okay.
So it does make it a little bit easier.
That's cool.
But yeah, no, it's really not comparable to being in the plaza.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You know, I was just driving through downtown the other day, and if you drive through the four corners of Penn Yan, unless you're driving toward the lake, you can't miss the Radio Shack sign.
You can't.
And especially if you drive through at nighttime. You definitely can't miss it.
It's lit up, and now we got beautiful Christmas lights in the store.
Yeah.
And it really looks nice.
That's good stuff.
And, you know, it was good that we have to thank the Penn Yan community, the board, you know, for letting us have the big sign.
Yeah.
You know, I know they wanted to keep it as old school as possible. You know,
being in the historic district down there.
Historic, that's the word I'm looking for.
Absolutely.
You know, and letting us have the big sign. But yeah, I mean, it really makes downtown pop.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to take this opportunity to tell everybody, you know, if you're doing business locally, and we hope you are, please make sure to go out and support these local businesses that are helping keep Turn 5 on your airwaves or on YouTube, as the case may be. Without these guys' support, you know, we just can't do what we're doing. We also want to thank the Poorhouse for hosting us tonight, doing our Christmas special, episode number 10.
Yes. So if you hear some music in the background, don't be alarmed.
Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
We're having
we're out here in the bar atmosphere, man.
This is a fun show. This is
a good time.
You know, there's really not per se a script to follow.
Yeah.
And just kind of BSing a little bit. And,
just coming off the cuff, you know.
Right.
One thing that we love to do is sit here and talk racing. And you know what? Nobody wants to come out and get interviewed. I'll sit here and talk racing all night.
All night.
We can come up with all sorts of stuff to talk about. So, speaking of talking racing, let's dive into this Short Track Super Series for 2014, fueled by VP Race Fuels. Now, this is part of the Brett Deo Motorsports Media shows and tour.
What a promoter. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and you want to talk about a driver's promoter. We talked to Nick Guerri last week about driving at Canandaigua for Jeremy Corcoran. And I think the thing applies tenfold for Brett Deo. Brett Deo harps on promoting working man races. And I think the schedule they've come up with next year is going to promote just that. Is their first race in March down at Orange County, the Hard Clay Open. That is going to be a race down there. The Hard Clay Open is going to be 50 laps on Sunday, March 23rd, down at the Orange County Fair Speedway. Now, Clint, get this. They are going to run heat races for the modifieds, and they're going to run them on passing points. That's how you're going to qualify.
I had heard something about that, and I don't completely understand the passing points deal.
Yeah,
because I don't know how it goes if you start on the pole and lead every lap. I mean, do you get points for position you're running?
You do get some points that way, and I think what they were looking at was if you go down to Orange County and you run an open modified show, and if you do a pill draw when you get there, because I mean, if these guys are going to be coming in and just doing, some guys may come just for that show and they may not show up to any other of the shows, and so if you roll in there and you have a bad pill draw, that pretty much eliminates you from getting a good starting spot in your heat, which would then lead to a good starting spot in the feature. So if you come in and do a pill draw and you draw poorly, it's not impossible, as Danny Johnson proved to us out at Brewerton. But if you have a bad pill draw, that can almost ruin your day right off the bat. But with the passing points, and think about it, Orange County, not the easiest place to pass, and they're going to be running on a Sunday afternoon.
First show of the year.
Now with the passing points, if you start 10th and you finish second, you deserve all those passing points, and you deserve to have a good starting spot in the feature. And that's kind of the theory behind running the passing points, and we'll have to get some more details. It's all going to be computerized. They purchased a program out at PRI that keeps track of passing points, that keeps track of the redraws and all that stuff. So it's probably not really a huge surprise that there's computer programs coming out like that now.
No, not at all.
I mean, a lot of these World of Outlaws or anybody that runs on passing points, I'm not so sure about the World of Outlaws, but any series that runs on passing points. I mean, actually, I'll give you a perfect example. Take Rich Vleck. On a race where they know they're running passing points, Rich Vleck can tell you where somebody's going to start before the heat race is even over. Oh, if so-and-so finishes here, he's going to start here in the feature. Like, he's already got it.
Right. Well, he's been around it enough.
Computed in his head, which is great. But a lot of that stuff coming out on the computer now. And, Clint, I think we got our first guest of the night.
We do have our first guest.
And that would be the co-owner of Creekside Entertainment, the man behind the music, Stu Ovens.
Stu.
How we doing tonight, man?
Guys?
Hey, man, we're living. We are.
We were talking about them passing points. That one guy from 31st lap, he'll definitely go to that show.
Oh yeah. John Balmas. He was very excited about that. he's actually. I think what he wanted to see was passing points on modifieds without bodies on them. That was a show. Was a show that I was there for. We were going to run a special either with no bodies on the modifieds or clear bodies on the modifieds.
Oh, my goodness.
Somebody had a car one time in a car show that had a clear body on it.
Yeah.
I almost want to say it was Richie Swartout.
Yeah, and I almost think it was like a not Parts Peddler sponsorship, but I think it was like
wherever he got his plexiglass
something
from
auto
that
parts, not Napa.
Parts Plus.
Parts Plus,
yep.
I think it was a Parts Plus sponsor, if I remember right. It could be wrong. But yeah, I think it was Swartout.
It was really neat, though. But
they had
it was
that see-through paneling.
Totally done in the see-through. And
yeah, everything was transparent on that car. That was pretty cool. So we haven't had you on the show in a couple months now. We've been rolling along with the show. So How are things going with Creekside Entertainment?
2014 is coming together really, really great. We've got a lot of weddings in the book already. We've got probably 19 weddings in the book already. A lot of other sideshows, plus the regular stuff. We just got signed on for the Poorhouse for another year on Friday nights.
Hey, that's cool.
And things are going along really good. We got a big weekend coming up, or not a weekend, but a weekday coming up for New Year's Eve. We'll be in 3 venues. BFW in Penn Yan. We'll have our new DJ Tiff will be down there. Tavern in Penn Yan on Elm Street across from the firehouse. We'll have Kaylee Marie. And then I will be right here at the Poorhouse from 8 o'clock till 1 o'clock in the morning. They're going to have a little bit of food, a little bit of party.
A little bit of food, a little bit of fun.
Yeah, and a whole lot of beer.
Little bit of bubbly.
Yeah, there you go, and a whole lot of beer.
Or a whole lot of bubbly.
Yep.
Now, Stu, tell the listeners out here, you just have the three main DJs, and I know Steven gets into it once in a while when he's not busy with his real, his first job.
Actually, we have 4.
Okay.
Steven would be a main one. We have 2 hired guns. One of them is my stepdaughter, Kaylee, and the other one is Tiffany Hauser from Our Hauser or something like that from Seneca Falls. She's brand new to us, but we have 4 sets. Actually, we have 5 complete sets. We could do 5 shows if we had to.
Good, that's good to hear.
We backed off a little bit for 2014. 2013, I tell you what, there was 3-4 weekends where Dad was chewing his nails.
Dad didn't come over to watch football or the races because Dad couldn't get out of his chair, and that and not too many nerves left. So, it's kind of cool to be able to say that you're playing, 10 or 12 shows a weekend, but when it comes down to it, that's 10 or 12 days where, Stu's taking the first phone call on something that's gone wrong, and when we're trying to focus on taking care of somebody's wedding, you don't want to be handling phone calls about problems and things of that nature.
I figured to take about 20% of the business out, make more money in the process, and be able to do a better job on 4 gigs or 5 gigs a weekend than trying to do 10 and doing an average job on all 10.
Looking at quality instead of quantity.
There you go.
Absolutely. So tell us about the Poorhouse, where we're at tonight.
I'm quite sure we're almost to our 4th year here at the Poorhouse.
That's what I was thinking. I was pretty sure we were either finishing up year number 3 or close to it.
Jeff has been one of our greatest venues we played for, and I gotta say he's the easiest guy I've ever played for. Like I said, we're coming up on 4 years. I ran into him nose to nose twice. The first time I had to be introduced to him because I couldn't remember him from my childhood, but I only ran into him twice. He don't bother me, I don't bother him. If we come here, play every Friday night, people love us here.
Yeah, I suppose as long as nothing's going wrong and everything's running smooth, you probably wouldn't see him.
That's right. I've called in here once. Over the 4 years, I've called in once. The snow. My trip from Newark to Penn Yan got very, very interesting 2 or 3 times, and I turned around, called in. When I called Steven, I thought he was going to fall out of his car.
I said, "What are you doing on the road, man? Go home." Yeah, I mean, and this has been one of our more popular venues on a consistent basis. I mean, you guys draw some pretty good crowds here in the wintertime, and not only the wintertime, but how many race teams have come in here and celebrated a win after the races down the street?
Absolutely. And it's funny. You would think with the races going, there wouldn't be hardly any people here. But during the summer when the races are going, there's as many people here as there's down to the racetrack. When the races are over, then it doubles here.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. I hate to say that. It's good for the Poorhouse. It's bad for Black Rock Speedway.
Yeah, and the other thing too is another big date is always the weekend of the banquet.
Yep.
After dinner and awards get done, everybody ships up to the Poorhouse. And Clint, I know you know what we're talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That night, when they come up here from the banquet, that night you'll find people in here that you would never dream of finding in the Poorhouse.
I'll tell you, that 2 years ago I came up here after the banquet, and I indulged a little bit, but I talked to people that night that I haven't seen in 10 or 15 years, whether they came here for the banquet or just happened to be here. I mean, I don't get over here very often, but I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. And this area is nice. You've got all the wineries around here. You can stop and grab yourself dinner over at the Classic Cafe, which I'm sure Dad stops in there for dinner
once a week
before he comes over here. So, a lot of good things in the area here too.
Yeah.
So
I think I might have sang a song or something last year.
Yeah, I think you sang a song, and I think you also danced with Jeremy. So.
I know he sang a song because for a while on our website for Turn 5 on the Creekside page.
Oh, you did.
There was a picture of Clint holding the microphone, so I know he sang something. I don't know what he sang.
I want to think it was Friends in Low Places.
With Richie.
Yeah.
Could have been.
Could
have been.
But all the race crews, they're a lot of fun when they come in there, and banquet night is always a lot of fun. Them guys, they go to Watkins for the banquet, and they like to get close to home before they finish topping off that beer bottle.
Yep, we talk about family. I mean, racing teams are family, and when you come here and you bring it home from the banquet and you bring it to the poorhouse, it's all one big family.
That's right. And real quick, before we get on to our next segment, www.creeksideentertainmentdj.com. Check us out on Facebook. Search Creekside Entertainment. Anything else we'd like the listeners to know?
Just we've got a new portal out where people can do all their paperwork and everything on the computer, and just makes it very, very easy to hire us and get the paperwork done. Cuts down on the meetings, and everything is exactly right when it comes to day for your party, wedding, whatever we're doing. But thank you.
Not too late to book for 2014, and certainly not too early to book for 2015.
Not at all. June is pretty much shot.
Yeah.
August is about 3/4 gone, but other than that, there's still a lot of holes that you can fill in, and they'll fill in. We're doing 3 bridal shows coming up here in the next month or so. So
that's true.
If you have a date, please do not linger calling me because it might be too late.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that is Stu Ovens from Creekside Entertainment. We want to thank him for helping arrange having our show here at the Poorhouse. We're going to toss it off to break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more racing with Stephen and Clint here on Turn 5. Turn 5 is marketed weekly by Horsepower360.com. At Horsepower360, they know how crucial branding is for your business or product to race fans locally and nationwide. Make the wrong move and damage to your brand can be irreversible. Make the right move with expert staff at Horsepower360, and the dividends can be endless. They also develop and promote race drivers and teams like 410 Sprint Car driver and World of Outlaws driver Ryan Smith and Rob Warco Racing's number 94. Visit them online at www.horsepower360.com. Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. They have the most up-to-date karaoke to make your bar or party a great event. They also have the wedding DJs that will make your wedding reception one that the family will remember forever. Contact them online at www.creeksideentertainmentdj.com or call Stu at 315-481-9700.
Kick off your holiday shopping now at Radio Shack. You'll find low prices on the latest smartphones, tablets, e-readers, plus a huge selection of must-have accessories. Radio Shack also has big savings on RC toys, batteries, plus stocking stuffers like flash drives and memory cards. And don't miss the great deals on portable Bluetooth speakers, top-name headphones, fitness gear, and more. So get a jump on your holiday shopping and start saving today at Radio Shack at 103 Main Street in beautiful downtown Penn Yan.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Turn 5 Racing Podcast, fueled by motorsportsnutrition.com.
Hello.
And marketed to you weekly by horsepower360.com. We're coming to you in front of a live audience here at the Poorhouse in Dundee, New York.
Been pretty uneventful so far.
At the corner of Seneca, Union, and Water Street here in beautiful downtown Dundee. And Clint, we got pretty good show going on here. We got some guys that aren't going to be able to make it out tonight, but hey, you never know who could drop in at any moment.
Yeah, we still got time. I tried getting the double deuce coupe with Carl Cleveland to come down, but he seems like he had a prior commitment too, or he's just really Mike shy.
Yeah, and it's right around the holidays. We figured it'd go one way or the other. We'd either catch a lot of people because it was right before the holiday, or we would catch nobody because it was right before the holiday. But it's good to get out of the studio.
Well, we had Stu.
Yeah, we got Stu here. Do something a little bit different. Get out of the studio here and do a live remote show. And again, we're coming up with some ideas to do a couple more remote type shows. So
and of course we
cool.
can't forget to thank our good friends here at the Poorhouse for letting us come out and. Again, we want to mention anybody out there that has a race team, a sponsor of a racetrack, fire departments, bars, restaurants, wherever. We're mobile. We can come in. We can set up. 20 minutes. We're good to go. Start recording. So, it's definitely something we can look forward to in the future.
It's a great way to activate a sponsorship. If you've got a sponsor that does, a restaurant business, a bar, party house, whatever. I mean, this is a great way to put that sponsorship into motion to get the local patrons of that business to know, hey, these guys support racing. That's kind of cool. We're going to continue supporting these guys.
Yeah, maybe they support racing. Maybe we'll stop on down to the racetrack on Friday night and see what's going on, see what it's all about.
Absolutely. You've got it right there. So let's talk real quick about we were talking a little bit about the Tulsa shootout coming up, the Chili Bowl.
Now explain to the viewers what runs at the Tulsa shootout.
The Tulsa shootout, they run the TQ midgets, which is basically it's kind of like a wider stance, shorter standing, like a 600 micro sprint type car. I believe they run a bigger horsepower through the car. They're really wicked to watch. If you ever look them up on YouTube, there's a couple clips on YouTube of different places. Atlantic City runs them. Tulsa Shootout runs them. And then they've got, of course, I believe they run the caged go-karts. I know Atlantic City. I'm not sure if Tulsa does. They run the Tobias slingshots.
Okay.
They run the 600 micros. So I know Atlantic City runs all of those. I think Tulsa does the same. I've seen a few 600 guys on 600 Nation on Facebook talking about going to the Tulsa shootout. But
and if I'm not mistaken, that show that they tried to set up in Rochester, up at the Dome Arena, was the same kind of situation, those same cars.
Yeah, and the Tulsa shootout and the Atlantic City race are all on concrete. It's a concrete floor, just like what the Syracuse Go-Kart National show is.
All right.
As compared to the Chili Bowl, which they bring dirt in and run on the dirt.
The show in Rochester, I believe, was going to be a dirt midget show.
I think that was actually. I think they were gonna run concrete.
Okay,
I think so.
Yeah.
We'll never know because the
didn't
the
pan.
details of that sale didn't pan out. But if that ever does happen, that would be a great show up there. That'd be great for the local area. I mean, you think about the economic impact when they announced that the possibility of that show happening. People were already booking hotel rooms. They were already checking out what local restaurants they could go to. You get a race like that in an area that's not used to having it. I mean, they used to have that big show in Niagara Falls every year, and that was big for Niagara Falls up there. And imagine what it would do to the local economy in Henrietta, in Gates, Pittsford, East Rochester, you name it.
Definitely, because, I mean, if you've never, like I said, look it up on Atlantic City. There's got a few races that they've got on there. If you look it up, and they take a hockey rink, you lose the ice and lose the walls, and they set up a racetrack in the confined space of like a hockey rink type setup, and they go and they race. Obviously, it's a race, but it's super fast. It's really I mean, it's some intense racing. There's some wild action, wheel-to-wheel action, of course, open-wheel cars. You're always going to have the excitement, and, you got guys like Ted Christopher, and Eric Rudolph's won Atlantic City a couple times.
Eric Rudolph can wheel a car.
Doesn't matter what you put him in either.
No, him, Stuart Friesen, the same way.
Exactly. And speaking of Stuart Friesen, did anybody catch the last of the CBS sports shows last night? No, night number 2 at the World Finals.
No. I haven't watched it yet. I got it recorded, but I haven't watched it yet.
DirecTV doesn't carry it.
I got them all recorded. Don't you worry. I got them all. I heard it was a great move, though.
It was. It's not something. I mean, obviously, we knew the finish of the race beforehand, but I got so excited seeing the big blocks on TV that I forgot what the finish was, but. It's always interesting when you see, somebody like Brett Hearn going in a 40-lap race, and, it got down. I mean, it literally was the last 3 laps of the race that Stewart got to his back bumper and, made a wild move on the outside like Stuart Friesen does, and, it was...
And somehow got it to stick.
He did. It was a really good race.
He's going to make it interesting, if nothing else, I mean, he almost did that clean your plate challenge at the Gobbler. I mean,
boy.
that would... How can you imagine what taking down over $10,000 for the whole weekend? That would have been absolutely wild. But we were talking about Tulsa Shootout, Chili Bowl, Tulsa Shootout coming up right after the first of the year here in 2014, and then we talk about the Chili Bowl Midget Nationals. Some of the news that came out of that: Casey Kane going to pilot a Jason Leffler tribute car. That's going to be really something special, and I know Casey and Tony Stewart have something special lined up to pay tribute to Jason Leffler, who we lost earlier this summer.
Wow, that'll be interesting.
And I see you're wearing your left turn hat.
Absolutely. Every chance I get.
That's good stuff. Talking about the Chili Bowl, that will be taking place here in January as well, and in order to catch the, I believe it's going to be the A-Main, is going to be broadcast on MAV TV. They're going to carry that live, and that's going to be January 18th, 2014 at 8:30 p.m.
I get MAV TV.
Eastern Standard Time. Well, there you go. Chili Bowl.
I can watch the Chili Bowl. First time ever. I think it's the first time ever that it's televised.
You know what? I think I'll be back in town that night. We might have to have a Chili Bowl party.
Stop on down.
And also you want to check out racinboys.com. That's RACINBOYS.com. They're going to have coverage that goes all the way up until MAV TV takes over with live coverage. And I do believe that's going to be the first event where Dave Despain and the other name is slipping my mind that just went over to, I don't know if it was Ralph Shaheen.
He's been doing a lot of the dirt, and he's...
But I know Dave Despain was going over to MAV TV, so that's going to be really cool to listen into that coverage.
I love listening to him call.
Oh, yeah.
When you think of motorsports, there's
Dave Despain.
There's a couple names that when you Sunday night on Speed Channel, Dave Despain, and then he'd have Robin Miller on from the IndyCars.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just names.
Long Live Wind Tunnel with Dave Despain.
Oh yeah, rest in peace.
I enjoyed watching that show. Hey, I know we're out here doing a remote show, but we got somebody calling in on the hotline wants to talk on Turn 5. So Brad, let's go ahead and throw it over to our last commercial break. And we'll take it over to the Turn 5 hotline and see who we got on the line tonight.
Put down that greasy dirt burger and race on over to motorsportsnutrition.com. They fuel race teams and drivers like 410 Sprint Car driver Ryan Smith with healthy Advocare supplements and products. Visit motorsportsnutrition.com. Want to build a successful driver to race team to sponsor relationship? Visit www.horsepower360.com and consult with their expert staff that is trusted by 410 Sprint Car and World of Outlaws driver Ryan Smith. Horsepower360.com. Hey Brad, where do you go for your NASCAR, IndyCar, F1, short track, dirt, and World of Outlaws coverage?
I go to racechaseronline.com.
Aren't they also at Speed 77 Radio on live stream?
Yeah, they've got the Motorsports Madness Report on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock and the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. Join in on the fun at racechaseronline.com and see them on Facebook. Search Race Chaser Online. Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. They have the most up-to-date karaoke to make your bar or party a great event. They also have the wedding DJs that will make your wedding reception one that the family will remember forever. Contact them online at www.creeksideentertainmentdj.com or call Stu at 315-481-9700. Welcome back, race fans, to the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. Getting ready to head over to the Turn 5 hotline here on our remote show, our Christmas special here at the Poorhouse. Going to bring in a crew member from the Billy Dunn 49 machine, Craig Palmieri. Craig, how we doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, Steven. How about you guys?
Well, we're doing all right here. We're having fun.
This is a good time.
Yeah, doing our first show out on the road here. And I understand that you're also out on the road.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It happens.
Yeah. Well, tell us about, I mean, obviously anybody that's kept track of local short track or modified racing knows about Billy winning the Syracuse 200 and just having it on TV here a couple weeks ago. I mean, now that they've done the TV show and all that stuff, what was that like for Billy and the crew and all the guys?
Well, I'll tell you, it was a great day for sure after the heartbreak of Saturday, and you just try so hard to be really good at Syracuse, and it's a lot about being in the right place at the right time, you know.
And you talk about the heartbreaker on Saturday. I mean, when Billy ran out, I got to imagine you guys were really disappointed after, obviously, but you guys had to turn your attention awfully quickly to getting ready for Sunday's race.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know. You're only as good as your last race, so you got to just pick up and keep moving and doing the best you can. You know, we had some really good guys helping us, and you know, we were well prepared. You know, we weren't the fastest car of the week, that's for sure, but you know, we had a good, solid car, and, you know, we knew we could finish as long as we stayed out of trouble. And, you know, Syracuse is a very tough deal, you know. I've been there a lot of years and seen a lot of heartbreak of different drivers, you know, running out of gas. And, you know, it's just one of those things about Syracuse, you know.
The Moody Mile, she is finicky.
Yeah. You know, you see guys crash in the last lap, you know, and close to the end, they're going to win, and all of a sudden, you know, bang, you know, you're out of it. So,
and you guys not only were running Syracuse, but you guys were running some satellite shows too.
Yeah, we were in the one satellite show there Tuesday night at Rolling Wheels, and we had a pretty good car there for Tuesday, and you know, we had a fresh bullet for Syracuse, so that was ready to go, and
yeah.
You know, it was a little tough schedule, but we did it, you know.
Yeah. And, you know, you guys got to Sunday, you know, you put, as best you can, put Saturday behind you. You guys got to Sunday, and going into Sunday's race, you guys had a plan right from the start. And that wasn't something that you guys at any point during that race were ready to back down from.
No, Billy and you know, all of us guys, you know, we got together and Jason, you know, he had a really good plan, and we just stuck to it. You know, we knew we were going to have to take fuel twice, and we didn't have the best gas mileage, and you know, you come in for that second stop, and you know, you got that time, so let's put the tires on and do the whole thing, and you know, take a shot at it. So
now,
it really worked out.
When you guys made that pit stop, was there that sinking feeling at all, thinking that, you know, we're going to stick to this plan, but there's a chance it might not work out?
Well, at that point, you've played your hand, so you just, you got to go and you got to stick with it, and I was very surprised, I was on the radio for Billy and, we're watching and nobody else pitted and, we just got to calculate and we're like, well, we're going to be pretty good here because a lot of these guys just aren't going to make it. It'd be almost impossible. And the new rule with the, in the last 25 laps with no, the cautions not counting, I mean, that definitely helped us some, but, it was still going to be a long way to go for them guys that pitted early and didn't come back in.
Now, I just sitting here thinking and listening to you talk, how tough is it to keep your thoughts about you knowing that, man, these guys pitted early, we're looking good. How do you keep Billy focused to not overdrive the car, not use the tires up? What do you tell him?
Well, that's the thing. We had more than enough gas now. We knew we could make it. We had a fresh tire, our tires, and at that point, you can really push the envelope now because you got enough tire to make it. You got plenty of fuel, and you can push the guys that pitted short, and hopefully you're going to push them so they got to race hard, and you're going to run them out of gas.
Use up a little more fuel, sure.
Yeah. I mean, you really. You push them to do something they don't want to do. And
exactly.
When you guys got those late race cautions, could you feel the magic happening? I mean, did you guys have an idea that, man, these cautions these laps aren't counting, we're really going to get these guys? Did you guys get that on the radio at all?
Well, you never count your chickens before they hatch, that's for sure. I mean, we were really counting down the laps, and we just, we figured we were going to be in good shape, still we get great fuel mileage there, so in the past, and, but we just, you got to figure, it was just no way, the way the new rules are, and they're making sure everything doesn't happen up, and, the more it wound down and the more the guys running out, boy, your heart just starts racing and you're just praying nothing happens and you don't hit a hole and have a flat or knock a tire off the bead, it can happen. But
yeah,
it was just a great day for Billy and his dad and the whole crew,
In Watertown. Good day for Watertown.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I was down there in Victory Lane, taking some video and some pictures, and I don't know, Craig, I think that's the fastest I've seen you come down out of the grandstands there on the front stretch.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting, that's for sure. I was, all the way up to the top, spotting for Billy, and
he had the best seat in the house.
Yeah, without a doubt. The other guys, you can only see the front straightaway. They couldn't see it all. But the passes were good. Going into one, that was about the best place for Billy to pass anybody. And he was really passing a lot of cars there at the end. So it was just super for the whole team.
And then, afterwards, they had a nice celebration up at Watertown. You guys get to take part in that up there?
Yeah, we all went up and celebrated with Billy and his dad and the crew, and the mayor came and awarded Billy an award, from the city, and it was quite nice, really. It was they called it the Billy Dunn Day in Watertown, so. It was nice for the local community to recognize Billy and his dad for all they've done, and they have a business there, and they give to the community and stuff. So it was really nice.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah, and I got to see some of the video clips from that award and all that stuff, and it just goes to show you that it's not a guy goes out and wins the biggest modified race of the year, and it's not just good for him and his dad and his team. I mean, that was a win for Watertown,
big
like
for Watertown.
You said,
Mm-hmm.
And it just shows that the racing is, the racing happens at the racetrack, but the reach of a win like that goes out much farther.
Well, when you have...
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're the guest. When you have guys like Bob McCready, Tim McCready, everybody knows that they're from Watertown. Now all of a sudden... Years later, Tim's out on the World of Outlaw late model tour. And then all of a sudden, here comes Billy Dunn, really from out of nowhere. And and then you get the Watertown, and it brings back Barefoot Bob,
those memories. Yeah,
and you just you want that on the map. You don't want people to forget.
Yeah. Now, Craig, tell us, if you do know anything, what are the preliminary plans that they're putting together for next year?
Well, from what we're looking at right now, and talking to Billy, we're going to be back at Canandaigua Motorsports Park. I mean, that's going to be our home track, of course. And, we're going to try to go there for the championship and, try to get the home track points for the series races and follow the series. And then, as far as Friday nights, Billy's going to run the car at Mohawk again for a lot of tours, and that's pretty much the plan, right now. That's
the car he got the championship in from last year, or for this past year, right?
Yes, yep,
yeah.
That's 2 years in a row, yeah.
Yeah,
yep.
He had a great shot at picking up Friday and Saturday night championships. I mean, I felt terrible for Billy. I mean, he came up that short at Canandaigua. I mean, Matt had to win out to take the championship, and that's just exactly what he did. I mean, that's tough competition there with Matt and Billy.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Shepard is, he's a great champion, and he's on his game, and he does his homework, and he's definitely the car to beat. But there's a lot of good guys over there. I mean, we're only really missing a few guys over there that don't run the whole series. So I mean, we got Jimmy Phelps, and, you got Justin and Matt, and then you got Danny and Alan, and so there's just a lot of good cars over there. And they got a good field, and it's almost like a series race there every Saturday.
Yeah. We actually, it's funny you say that. We had a sportsman driver tell us just those exact words last week on the show, was how much fun it is to watch the modifieds at Canandaigua because it's like a series race every week. So that's a lot of stout competition there.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just finishing in the top 5 there is it's tough. I mean, it's really good, but Jerry keeps the track good, and he's done a lot of work over there and got everything cleaned up, and it's a good show, and you can go there and race. And I mean, our friends from Canada at Billings came every week this year, and they ran the whole body that they started the season with there, and they just loved it, and they're planning, I believe, is coming back also with next year.
That's awesome. Yeah, they've done a lot of work there, and it's not only been a great experience for the racers, but it's been a great experience for the fans too. A lot of people that went to Canandaigua for years and maybe backed off in recent years are starting to come back, and that is really good to see over there. So, well, Craig, we thank you for your time tonight and helping us fill a little time here. And, again, congratulations on your guys' win up at Syracuse and the good runs over at Canandaigua. And we look forward to seeing you guys at the racetrack in 2014.
Okay, Stephen, thanks a lot. And thanks for having us on. And want to wish everybody happy holidays and a happy new year. And won't be long, and we'll be back at the track, we hope.
All right, man. Hey, we'll see you over in Newark in a couple weeks.
That's right. Yep, we'll be there. Yep.
All right, guys. That is Craig Palmieri from the Billy Dunn 49 Modified crew coming on the show tonight, and tell us about their experience over at Syracuse, and we certainly appreciate that. It's kind of cool. We were over here doing our remote show, and we say, hey, we got somebody that calls in on the hotline. That worked out pretty good.
It did. Worked well. That's awesome.
All right, we'll toss it off to break, and then we'll come back and wrap things up here at the Poorhouse.
You're listening
to Turn 5. Hey, Brad, where do you go for your NASCAR, IndyCar, F1, short track, dirt, and World of Outlaws coverage?
I go to racechaseronline.com.
Aren't they also at Speed 77 Radio on live stream?
Yeah, they've got the Motorsports Madness Report on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock and the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. Join in on the fun at racechaseronline.com and see them on Facebook. Search Race Chaser Online. Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. They have the most up-to-date karaoke to make your bar or party a great event. They also have the wedding DJs that will make your wedding reception one that the family will remember forever. Contact them online at www.creeksideentertainmentdj.com or call Stu at 315-481-9700.
Kick off your holiday shopping now at Radio Shack. You'll find low prices on the latest smartphones, tablets, e-readers, plus a huge selection of must-have accessories. Radio Shack also has big savings on RC toys, batteries, plus stocking stuffers like flash drives and memory cards. And don't miss the great deals on portable Bluetooth speakers, top-name headphones, fitness gear, and more. So get a jump on your holiday shopping and start saving today at Radio Shack at 103 Main Street in beautiful downtown Penn Yan.
Welcome back to the Turn 5 Racing Podcast, race fans. Steve Ovens alongside Clint Miller and B-Rad on the soundboard. Clint, what a riot out here at the Poorhouse tonight, doing our first remote show. The folks out here at the Poorhouse treated us well, give us a nice area to work with. Want to thank our sponsors to help us keep the show going. Brought to you each and every week, fueled by motorsportsnutrition.com, marketed weekly by horsepower360.com, and then our associate sponsors who came on board right off the bat with us in Penn Yan Electronics down on Main Street in downtown Penn Yan, racechaseronline.com, and Speed 77 Radio on live stream, and of course Creekside Entertainment, the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 podcast. Without all these guys, we couldn't come out here and do shows like this, and just a lot of fun, doing something different, doing a Christmas special, episode number 10. So many things to tell and talk about this episode.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, like you said, it's out, it's different. You are out in the public, you really don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we were pretty fortunate tonight that I think we're going to miss the excitement by about a half hour down here. Yeah. But
I think we're going to try and get out of here before the excitement takes off.
Well,
yeah. But, it's always good talking racing, and we want to thank Craig Palmieri from the crew from Billy Dunn, Billy Dunn's 49 Modified. They're going to come back and have a nice, strong season, I'm sure. Running Canandaigua full-time. Billy's got a ride up there at Mohawk on Friday nights. He won the championship up there last year, so he's going to come out.
I did not know that.
Yep. He was in that ride, in the Lotta Sewer ride up at Mohawk. He ended up winning the championship up there. I know it came down to the last night, but he still ended up taking the championship up there. And
so he really did almost have he almost pulled the double.
And again, we talked at the beginning of the show about doing more live shows. We'd love to come out and do a live show wherever you think we could do one. And easy way to contact us is log on to Facebook.com. In the search bar, put Turn 5 Racing Podcast. That's TURN, the number 5 Racing Podcast. You can find us, send us a message there, or you can send us an email, turn5podcast@gmail.com. We'd love to get out and do some more live shows. Just a couple of ideas that we've been throwing around is maybe trying to find a place down near Woodhall and doing a special show down there, having some drivers come out and meet us. We thought maybe we could try and pull some strings up in the Oswego area and get some of our asphalt friends to join us for an episode and talk about the Steel Palace. And don't forget, you can find us on Twitter as well, and that is @Turn5Podcast on Twitter. So those are all the ways you can find us. You can also see us on our website, which is turn5.podbean.com. And we also have a page on the Creekside Entertainment page at creeksideentertainmentdj.com/Turn5 Racing Podcast. So check us out there. Clint, next week is going to be a big show as well. We need to reconfirm, but we had a verbal agreement from Logan Schuhart to come on the show.
Soon to be World of Outlaw rookie contender.
Yeah, and gearing up for a 92 race tour. Going to be big there.
92 races. Can you imagine 92 A-main events?
That's a lot of racing. That's a lot of racing. And you know, again, you know, those guys, you know, Logan Schuchart, the Allen boys, the Ryan Smith. I mean, those guys going to be out on a long tour, and wouldn't be a great opportunity to consult with Christy from Motorsports
I was
Nutrition.
Just say, yep.
Find her at motorsportsnutrition.com. Get hooked up with some of those Advocare products, the rehydration, the fuel on race day, and recovery after race day.
And you and I have talked about possibly taking the challenge after the first of the year.
We're looking at it. You know, it's you know, it's one of those things where you get a sponsor on board the show like that, and you turn around and you look yourself in the mirror and you say, okay, what can I do better? You know, what can I do? And Christy has no problem consulting with anybody. So look her up at motorsportsnutrition.com. And if you're a race team that is looking to find better ways to, as far as the PR game goes, check her other business out at horsepower360.com. She's public relations for Ryan Smith and Rob Warco Racing and their World of Outlaw entry in 410 sprint car entry. Number 94.
Yep, the Pennsylvania Posse.
Yep. I'm telling you guys right now, that's on my list this summer. Even if I don't get to go to any of the other tracks around it, I'm going to Williams Grove. Even if it's a regular show, I don't care. I'm going to Williams Grove.
I'm tagging on.
Yeah.
One way or another, I'm tagging on.
We're going to find a weekend. We're going to do Williams Grove. And, hey, even if it's a national open, that's fine too. But, you know, Clint, I think we're going to wrap up our first remote episode. I'm going to shake your hand, brother.
Absolutely.
I'm going to shake your hand, Brad. First remote episode in the books. We want to thank you folks for listening. We'll be back next Monday night or Tuesday morning, if that's when you see the show. And before we go, we do want to thank one more time everybody, Jeff, Deb, and Stu from Creekside Entertainment for helping us set up this show here at the Poorhouse. You can find them on the four corners of Dundee, which intersects the streets Union Street, Seneca Street, and Water Street right here in downtown Dundee. So thank you to the Poorhouse for having us. And before we get out of here, race fans, I want to remind you to check it before you wreck it. Good night, everybody.